give us a brief introduction about yourself.
So I'm Shoaib from Gambad, district Khairpur Mira Sindh. I have completed my matriculation in my hometown, an intermediate from Cadet College Panwakil, and BS Honours from University of the Punjab, Lahore. During my studies, I actively participated in co-curricular activities and represented my university at various debate and national and international conferences. After soon completing my graduation, I remained involved in my family business that gave me an opportunity to travel different countries and meet people across the globe. Driven by the passion for social development, I also initiated a plan for poverty alleviation and rural development completely financed by my family's zakat, sadaqah and interest-free loans, through which we have elevated more than 23 families in my area. Currently, I'm working on a bigger community project for the elimination of beggary in my area. And apart from this, I also remain engaged for the preparation of civil services, and I have successfully managed to secure 20th merit position in the recent CSL special exam, though I remain unallocated due to the limited seats of Sindh ruler. Again, I am here before this worthy panel for finally deciding my destiny.
So you have made one attempt already,
Right, sir.
which is called special. Where is your Khairpur Miras?
So it is a district of Sindh, and the division is basically Sakhar, and it is also famous for its history of princely state, and that is basically also its suffix Mirs, that is taken from the Mir Talpurs who ruled this area.
You know anything about history of Sindh?
Yes, sir.
How Sindh was occupied by the Britishers?
So it was occupied in 1843, and it was not a direct military occupation as the case with other areas. But the same thing as the colonials was colonizing these areas of Pakistan. So Sindh was also among that movement by the Britishers.
Is it Khairpur Miras is on the main railway line?
Yes, sir. It is on the main railway line.
Right. It's a very good railway station also.
So near to it, it is Rodi railway station, which is basically the junction. So the particular Khairpur is not a junction or the famous one railway station.
What were your optional subjects? Political science?
Right, sir. Second, constitutional law. The third, gender studies. Fourth, town planning and urban management. And the sixth one is...
What was the decision in the famous case called the Maulvi Tamizuddin case?
So it was a political decision, if I see, as far as the legal doctrine of necessity was given in this decision, and it was basically decision went in the favor of Pakistan's federation and against Maulvi Tamizuddin, and because Maulvi Tamizuddin was deseated, and so this decision supported the doctrine of necessity and paved the way for the martial laws in Pakistan in future also.
Shoaib, you have chosen constitutional law and town planning as your optional subjects.
Right, sir.
So let me start with town planning. So if I asked you, how would you define zoning in town planning, and do you think these zoning regulations are properly implemented in Pakistan? If I asked you about two major urban centers, Lahore and Karachi, how would you?
Yes, answering the first part of the question, basically zoning is an interesting concept in town planning that basically revolves around the division of lands and making zones on the basis of their utility, and that can be like the zone for the industrial area and the zone dedicated to the residence and the commercial area. This is basically the zoning, a division for increasing their utility. However, the second part of the question is concerned the implementation of the zoning in the major urban areas like Karachi and Lahore. So I would say it is not implemented as it is required by the town planners, because Pakistan had previously master plans for the Lahore and Karachi, and we invested millions of rupees on just making plans. But unfortunately, we remain unable to implement that, and that also resulted in miszoning of these special urban centers in Pakistan.
So in constitutional law, there is a chapter on fundamental rights and there is a chapter on principles of policies.
Right.
So how do you differentiate between these two chapters, and what are the major principles of state policies that has been enshrined in the Constitution of Pakistan?
Right, sir. As far as the fundamental rights are concerned, from Article 8 to 28, these are basically some of the rights that are protected for the citizens by the state of Pakistan, and the judiciary is the guardian. However, as far as the principles of policies are concerned, these are just the principles in the set rules on which a state may make policies, and these are just we can say that the policies they just boundaries are set to work on these levels in the future. So I think these are just opinions, or we can say the future things on which we have to work. However, the fundamental rights have constitutional guardianship and recognition.
So when we look at the American constitutions, there is a concept of separation of power, and there is an equally powerful concept of checks and balances.
Right, sir.
So how do you reconcile between these two conflicting streams of constitutional law and political science?
Sir, it is very interesting political concept also. As a student of political science, I would say this concept was given by Montesquieu, who was a Western philosopher, and same replicated in the US Constitution. So separation of power works on the division of the authority between three organs of a state, that is legislature, executive, and judiciary. That is also called the trias politica, basically the three organs of a state. However, checks and balance is also in alliance with this concept, and that is check of one institution on the other, just to maintain balance in these organs. And this is also said by a famous political philosopher and writer, that this is the beauty of US Constitution, and it is also replicated in the global constitutions also, and also in Pakistan, we can say, especially after 26th Amendment. So I think both worked together for the more political outcomes.
So how do you define the concept of federalism? We know that Pakistan is also a federation. You hail from a province, Sindh, which constantly raise objections about the nature of federation that we have. So how do you define the concept of federalism in Pakistan, constitutionally speaking, and speaking from the perspective of a political scientist? And what are the challenges that the federalism in Pakistan is facing right now?
Right, sir. Starting from the explanation of this concept as a student of political science, basically federalism believes in a political contrivance to create or transform a community into a political organization, and that is basically the federalism. However, its practical manifestation is when there is a limited concentration of power at the center and complete devolution of authority to the provinces or units. That may be the case. However, the issues of federalism in Pakistan are concerned, as you have already highlighted, the issues and reservations of Sindh. That was basically, we can say, these started from the early years of Pakistan that set the trajectory. And as Hassan Askari, a renowned political scientist and former caretaker CM of Punjab, believes that it started from the military bureaucracy oligarchy. And this concept basically laid foundation towards the issue of federation. Majorly, this was started from the one unit policy and also one language policy, and resulted in a division and also contradiction and the contention and the division of resources. However, the current scenario is concerned, we have settled such issues under the NFC formula, and that is the effective measure, and also we have an institution for the resolution of such issues that arises under this federal structure, and that is CCI, Council of Common Interest, where all 4 CM of the provinces and also Prime Minister is there to discuss the issues, and especially resolution of this issue, the second list of the federal list that is being made after the 18th Amendment.
So what is the role of diplomacy in the conduct of international relations, and what are the challenges that diplomats are facing right now in the aftermath of the social media revolution, when most of the world leaders, head of the states, they have their accounts on Facebook, on X, and sometimes they make important pronouncements through those accounts. So what kind of challenges the traditional notions of diplomacy faces in these circumstances? And do you think that the issues of a very serious nature like war and peace, they should be conducted through non-traditional diplomatic channels?
Right. Sir, answering the first part of question, that what is basically the role of diplomacy. Diplomacy, I think it is at the top of the functions of a state, because the relations among the state are conducted through diplomacy and dialogue. However, there is a particular formal structure for the resolution of disputes and maintaining the peace and security in the world through diplomatic channels. But now the newcomer, that is also called the fourth state or the fourth unofficial organ of a state, that is media. So major diplomatic channels and even the policies are basically discussed, debated, and even given on this channel. I think this is the adaptability. We must go towards that. There is nothing bad. However, the misinformation, fake information, the disinformation carried out through this channel is a problem. And also we face cyber attacks. If an account or the social media account of any global leader is being hacked, and the policy is given related to the war or the peace, that may prove a hectic and also prove disaster for the world. So these issues may be resolved. However, there is nothing bad if we use this channel. This is a newcomer and we can use it in a better way.
And my last question from my side, you said that you are working on rural development and you are helping the community, local community. You hail from a business family. So hailing from a business family, you are very well educated and you are already doing a very important work in your own area. So why don't you make a career out of it, like the great Abdustar Eidi and Dr. Amjad Saqib and all these noble figures from our society. So what is the driving force that is forcing you to change the course of direction of your career and join the public service? Are you not satisfied with the nature of work that you are doing right now?
Sir, Alhamdulillah, I am satisfied. As far as the difference of choosing this career is that business is maybe my profession. However, I consider these civil services as my mission. And basically, this mission aligns with my motto of life, and that is based on hadith. That is, Afzalul Ashghal Khidmatun Nas. Best of all the services is to serve the humanity. And to serve the humanity, I think these services provide me a better platform and also a broader opportunity to create a social impact. Though I'm working individually, as I have already discussed, is the platform I have already have. But through these services, I will have more opportunity, more engagement with public, and also a complete focus on my mission of life.
Mr. Shoaib, first we'll talk about economy of Pakistan.
Right, sir.
There have been about 24 plans which Pakistan received from IMF and different organizations to aid. However, the structural issues of Pakistan's economy remain the same.
Right.
Why these structural issues are not resolved, and what is the Sindh's contribution to Pakistan's economy?
So answering the first part, why these issues have not been resolved, it is already mentioned by you that we have more policies, but we are short of implementation of that policies. And we have number of policies like 5Es, 5Ds, and 5Rs, and also the recently Uran Pakistan, and before Uran Pakistan, this is National Security Policy of Pakistan. So we have a number of policies. The flaw or the issue lies in the implementation of that one. And why this implementation becomes troublesome for Pakistan? There is we are short of the domestic plans. We are more focused on the foreign dependence, and that is from the aids, loans, friendly loans, and also the foreign direct investment, remittances, and also the burden on the diaspora of Pakistan. So we should work on the domestic plans, grow the economy, and also work on the tax base, not increasing, not just increasing the number of amount of taxes collected through FPR. So these are the issues that must be resolved. And however, I actually forget the second point.
Sindh's contribution to the
yes, the Sindh contribution. As far as the contribution of Sindh, it is the second number. However, the particular case of Karachi is considered. It is giving more than 15% of the 20% of GDP of Pakistan. So
15% to 20%?
In between 15 to 20%. I'm not sure the particular number.
Do you believe in good administration? If you do so, by decentralizing, the governance improves. So there is a need of more provinces in Pakistan as well. Do you agree with it in context of Karachi? Should Karachi be the new province?
So as far as the local government and the devolution of power is concerned, I strongly believe in it. And this is also global structure in the policy and implemented throughout the world. The power must be divided and decentralized. And it is also the spirit of 18th Amendment also. As far as the new provinces is concerned, If you allow me to go through the history, as a student of political science, taking an example of Aristotle, who believed in small city-states, and also a Muslim philosopher like Al-Farabi, who believed in the same concept of small city-states for more growth and progress in his famous book, Ara al-Madina al-Fazila. So that is basically the spirit. This must be followed in Pakistan, but one thing is that is contradictory. Division of any area or the creating a new provinces must not be based on any ethnicity or culture. It must be based on the administrative level. For that, we must not face any issues or the crisis of federation in Pakistan.
Okay, ideally divide Sindh into number of provinces administratively, which is ideal for you.
Sir, I think the ideal would be creating or declaring every division of Sindh as a new province. It would be more suitable.
Okay. What is the difference between Islamic and Western political thought?
So there is a number of differences. So the Western political thought, if I just highlight the one thing, Western political thought believes in the sovereignty of people. However, Islamic philosophers believe in the sovereignty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over the state. That is a major difference.
Muslim world is divided by Shia Sunni sect. What and how was Shia Sunni sect created?
Sir, the Muslim world is divided along these lines, as I also remember the line of Christopher Jefferlat, a renowned writer, and his research is also on the India and Pakistan's and the relations of Muslim world. He believes in his book Pakistan Across Pakistan, quoting the Abbas, that Pakistan's and the Muslim world's foreign policy has remained a fault line between Iran's Shiaism and Saudi Arab's Sunnism. And how it was created, it was basically created through international policy, the policy taken by the global leader, that is America and the Western world, just to divide the Muslim world along these lines. So this is basically a political policy. However, the recent developments like the dialogues and the platforms and good relation between America and Saudi Arabia, and also bridging the gaps that other countries are facing, especially from the Middle East. So I think these differences are going towards a better resolution, and we can see the comments and the support and the diplomatic support by the Sunni majority states for Iran in the recent clash between Iran and Israel.
Okay, I agree to the part of contemporary politics. And the second part was more related to the historical aspect, that how Shia and Sunni religious thought was created.
Yes, sir. If we go to the history, that is basically the Iran's Persianization and the urbanization in the later part of the Middle East countries, and there is roots in the history. So the history started from, because the Persians were more inclined towards the Shia sect within the Muslim, within the Islam, and also the areas under the
No,
Middle East.
you're not getting me. Anyway,
Right.
how much should a state put limit on individuals' liberty?
Sir, as far as the concept of liberty goes on, as J.S. Mill, John Stuart Mill believes in his book on liberty, that everyone is free to enjoy his liberty, and he can move his stick until it bruises the nose of another. So the liberty, the cap on liberty must be, it must not create, it must not disturb the liberty of any other individual in a state. So that would be the important cap.
18th Amendment was brought in order to address the issue of provincialism. Has it resolved?
So though it was a very important and required amendment in the Constitution of Pakistan with the spirit of provincial autonomy, however, all things are not being covered just due to the limited capability of provinces to implement such thing. But provinces are working on that. We are improving, and we can see the changes, especially at the health and education sector, and also the subjects that were basically devolved under this amendment. So I think we are improving. We may need much more time, but it is better option for provincial autonomy in Pakistan.
In recent budget, there has been division of GDP regarding defense, education, as well as healthcare. How would you describe its division, and what is the significance given by Pakistan's government?
Sir, if you allow me to explain this concept with another concept, that is a gun versus butter debate. Pakistan is facing this debate throughout history, and policymakers believe that in order to secure bread, you must have a gun. And we can see the same situation with the recent skirmishes between Pakistan and India, and also the global wars that are happening in the world. So we allocated 2.4 trillion rupees to the defense sector, but we allocated less than that to the education and health. But one thing must be kept in mind that can be related to the disinformation. We have education and health as a provincial subject, and we are investing nearly 1.9 trillion rupees on health and 1.4 trillion rupees on education. So these figures basically change the figure that is basically forecasted as just 0.8% of GDP on the education and 0.9% of GDP on health. So that is basically the disinformation or the misunderstanding or creating a particular scenario from the media houses. So I think
On just the upper belt of Arabian Sea, you find India, Pakistan, and Iran. Okay, and on the other part, you see KSA and UAE as well. Pakistan's relationship with KSA, UAE, and Iran have been diverse throughout.
right.
Economically, you just need to interpret it economically, no political hint or insight. How do you see the relationship between Iran, Pakistan, UAE, Pakistan, and KSA, Pakistan?
So starting from Iran, because Iran is our immediate neighbor, and we share more than 959 kilometers with Iran and the southern level. So the relation between Pakistan and Iran are mostly unconventional because there are sanctions on Iran, and we have more than $3 billion unofficial trade with Iran. So we have better relations, and especially the bordering districts of Balochistan have better relations and the better trade with Iran. As far as the relation with the KSA and UAE, these are the more formal relations because there are no sanctions on it. And majorly, in the economic perspective, we have relations on the import of energy, especially oil and gas from Saudi Arabia. As far as UAE is concerned, we have greater trade, both import and export. Especially, we are exporting more to UAE as far as the textile, medicines, and apparels are concerned. So we have better relations, and we have big trade edge over these three countries.
When in World War II, Allied forces had already won the war, what was the need of US atomic bombs on Japan?
So because it was basically Japan's attack on the Pearl Harbor was a preemptive attack, and to end this war, I think US policymakers thought that it is required to attack and finally create a particular.
No, in retort to Pearl Harbor, they had already invaded all the islands which were captured by Japanese forces.
Right.
They were already on the defensive.
Right.
Allied forces had won the war. Germany was at the back end. Even German cities were almost invaded by the British forces and the Allied forces.
Right.
So when formally we had won the war, what is the need of atomic bomb?
Sir, the opinions may be different. That may be the opinion and the decision by the policymakers of US at that time. They may thought that we may lose this war at any circumstances, and we must also.
No, they have already won the war. We may lose, but what is the suspicion of that we may lose? I'm only asking that what is the need of using this lethal weapon when the objective has already been achieved?
So that if we analyze this in a great political way, so it may be just create a hegemony of US on the nation.
Okay. Privatization of state-owned entities. How is it going to help Pakistan's economy? And take the case of PIA and explain me what is the updated status.
So as far as the privatization, we have made recent policy, though historical, we have also several policies on that one, especially under SIFC investment facilities. We are working on the state-owned privatization of state-owned agencies, and also under some economic compulsions we are going for that. However, the status of PIA is concerned, previously we initiated a plan, and also we also took final steps for its privatization and sell out PI, but it failed just because low interest of the investors. Now we are pulling more money into this institution. We are also subsidizing it, and we are making this PIA able to privatize. And I think in this year or the next, because we have already decided in the recent fiscal budget, we are going for the privatization in this year also.
How is it going to help the economy? Other part?
Yes, sir, because Pakistan is facing several burden on economy for the subsidies we are giving to these SOEs, and also these SOEs are not giving us outputs that are basically required. So under the compulsion of IMF and the programs just to make money from SOEs and also also resolve the issue of services of public. So I think these are the issues that will help.
You know, Donald Trump is basically labeled.
This was not like very complex question, but it was a large question of the constitution. So like when we were discussing about the principles of policy and differentiating with fundamental rights, you said that they are matter of opinion. They are not matter of opinion, they are very sacred constitutional provisions. But still there is a difference, because fundamental rights are justiciable and principles of policies are non-justiciable. And what is the difference? If somebody violates your fundamental rights, you can go to the court and invoke writ jurisdiction in your favor. But if the state does not follow the principles of state policy, that does not give the similar right to the city. This is a very, very critical difference. But these principles of policies, they are the ideals that all of us should strive for. The state should work towards it. The citizens should work towards it. And finally, we have to reach that destinations. And a similar kind of error, I think my colleague will dilate upon it in more details. You committed while answering this Shia Sunni question, like you could not go back to the history properly, and you tried to remain in your comfort zone, and you tried to like circumvent your argument around that. But I think in those areas, these are little improvements. If you do that, you have very, very good chances of getting through in this exam. And I think by our positive feedback, that this can create like two kinds of situation in your personality. First, you go and you become idle and laid back, and you like reduce the level of your effort. And the other is that you get motivated and you put in more effort and try to improve yourself a notch more and perform better in your real interview. I think you should take the second course, and there is a good chance of you getting allocation. You should not miss it.
Inshallah.
Shoaib, I must say that it would be miserly on my part not to tell you that you are a very good candidate to secure position. I hardly use these words for somebody, and I find there may be, like Sir Gul pointed out, there were 2 to 3 opinions on which I saw you lagging, and you were basically trying to, remain in your comfort zone, and you didn't want to go where I wanted you to go.
Right.
I saw that. But having said that, having counted all those inefficiencies or all those little mistakes that you committed, I believe you were confident, you were polished, your answers were labeled with the proper accurate references, with books, with quotations, which inspired me a lot, which impressed me rather. And I would say even in conflicting and vague arguments where your answer was not apt and that was not what we were expecting, you were well spoken in them as well. And you are progressive. There is a book, Good to Great and Built to Last. I will use that for you.
Thank you.
I saw you a walking deputy commissioner, inshallah. And God forbid if you are not going to commit any mistake in the interview, I believe that you are going to secure a very good position.
Inshallah.
You need to work all those areas. I am not going to repeat what Sir Hanif Gul has already stated. I also noticed those kind of mistakes in you, but your responses were very structured. You were very confident. I found as if there is an 18th or 19th grade bureaucrat sitting before me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
So my worthy colleagues have given their views. I have only to sum up all these views. I think there were weak areas and there were strong areas also in your personality and your interview technique. If you cover up the gaps which are also your weak points. You can qualify the FPSC part of interview. There was a question about Shia-Sunni troubles. According to my knowledge of history, especially Islamic history, you should have gone to earlier periods. Why the split between Shias and Sunnis was in the first place
Right.
occurred. So that also this split developed over time. So we had the supporters of Ali, Hazrat Ali, and the supporters of the other
Muawiyah.
group, Muawiyah. So this is a continuation of historical forces. Some people say that Britishers made this split, whereas it is going very far. It is going very far in our roots, and it also indicates that your knowledge of history should be strong enough that is expected from an officer of your caliber. Similarly, you have some good points also which have come up, and my worthy colleagues have given the good points also. So in the next month of July, you will probably have the FPSC interview. So by that time, you can cover up the weak areas, and if you do it, I think you stand a good chance to qualify the FPSC interview.
Inshallah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shoaib.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Best of luck.
Thank you.